Breaking news, we are live. Khomeini, the dictator of Iran, the Ayatollah, has been confirmed dead by Israel. The picture apparently was shown to Bibi Netanyahu. Israel have took down the Ayatollah Khomeini. I'm going to repeat that again for those of you who did not hear me. Breaking news, Israel have confirmed the Ayatollah Khomeini was eliminated in an airstrike. There is a video showing the attack on his compound, and apparently an image of his body was retrieved and shown to Bibi Netanyahu, and Israel have went out with the news. Guys, this is crazy. Israel have did it. What a crazy country. And by the way, we're going to talk about how this operation went and what was the liaison between Israel responsibility, the U.S. responsibility in this whole operation, who did what and how did they do it, and also how did they fool the Iranians and trick them again. In 1 year, in less than 1 year, they managed to trick the Iranians again with a surprise attack, and this time took down Mr. Brownie Pants. Khomeini is no more. This is insane. That is happening close to Purim. Everybody in Israel right now is singing ומרדכי יצא מלפני המלך ולבוש מלכות ואדרת זהב ליהודים הייתה, and they're just singing the songs of Purim. This Purim is going to be a special Purim for Israel and for the entire Middle East. A very evil human being. We're talking about one of the most evil, vile human beings to live since Hitler was eliminated. Now, I know there might be some liberals out there that might be very sad and might even shed a tear because it makes them very, very sad when bad people are eliminated. They cried when Sinwar was eliminated. They cried when Maduro was arrested, and etc. But nobody cares about them. All these purple hair, woke weirdos can go and cry somewhere else. The people of Iran, Persia, the people of Israel, the people of the Middle East, the peace-loving humans of the Middle East have been oppressed. They've been killed, butchered, their life destroyed by the evil, wicked Khomeini. The Ayatollah and his reign of terror and their proxies have been eliminated. This might come as a big shock for a lot of his followers because they did really believe that he was touched by God, and they were full, fanatic, messianic, crazy weirdos. But this have came as an official announcement by Israel. I've seen it in a few sources right now, not only in the Telegram, running in the Israeli news. Look at that. That's Israeli airplanes flying over Tehran and Iranians cheering.
Khamenei میگن زدن. خامنه‌ای رو زدن.
I don't speak Persian,
وای.
but I feel like
بچه‌ها
he's saying,
مبارکه.
I don't speak Persian, but I feel like he's saying that this is what happened. Khamenei was eliminated. This is a huge day for the Iranian people. Imagine you're living under Nazi Nazi Germany, and all of a sudden the dictator was eliminated, and the people who were oppressed by them were mostly Germans. How happy cities are starting to fall into the hands of the citizens as this regime is collapsing, completely falling. This is a crazy image. They almost did 9/11 in Burj Khalifa.
Sí, ahí pegó.
Drone
Sí, ahora sí se puede.
almost did Burj Khalifa. The Iranians were trying to take
le pegó?
over the East.
Bueno, muchachos, ¿a qué le pegó?
They had a few with all due respect, and
Mira el humo.
very strategic.
¿A dónde? Dale, pará, dale, boludo. Qué locura, amigo.
U.S. airbase in Bahrain. You see also the local
Status now. What's happening?
Full regional engagement, sir. Iran launched a
I
large
love these
ballistic
guys. They
missile
do it like red
barrage.
alert.
Targets
They do
include
it like
Israel
red
and
alert.
U.S. assets in Bahrain.
Let's read the newspaper, guys. Let's read the newspaper. I'm gonna translate this for you. Wait. This is Daniel. I'm live. You called me to tell me that he's dead. Yeah, man. Khomeini is dead, Habibi. ומרדכי יצא מלפני המלך. Wow, crazy. Anyway, I'm in a live show, man. I'm gonna go back to the show. Yeah, thanks, man. Bye. I'm getting all kind of sources right now calling me to tell me that he has been taken down by Israel. Let's read in news. I translated it. Khomeini eliminated Israel, confirmed. That's one. Here we Now I'm gonna try to put it for you in English. How do we do that? If not, I'm gonna have to read it for you. ומרדכי יצא מלפני המלך. Here we go. English. All right. You guys see this, right? The end of the dictator Khomeini was eliminated. His body was found after 36 years of rule with heavy hand. An Israeli official confirmed that the 86-year-old supreme leader of Iran was killed in the opening blow of the roar of the Harir. Shagat Aryeh, I think that's the name. Anyway, that's translated to English. Shagat Lavi. And said that his body have been found. Netanyahu has previously said that the compound where Khomeini was staying has been destroyed. I've seen the image of that thing. Quite impressive, but Iran denies that he was killed. This psychological warfare, this is protege Khamenei who is brutally suppressed his opponents. Now listen, could be, I tend to believe Israel when it comes to these things. I tend to believe the West. I don't really believe the Iranians. They always lie. Hamas, Hezbollah, they always lie. When Nasrallah, when Sinwar, when Muhammad Deif, all the time they lied, and then it found out to be true. But with that said, this could also be one of the psyops that we're hearing coming from Israel, trying to basically lure and change the picture and basically maybe make him come out of his hiding. But I do believe that he was eliminated. Let's keep reading. Oh, there's a video. Netanyahu tonight, there are many signs that the dictator is gone. Let's see this.
שבוע טוב, אחיי ואחיותיי, אזרחי ישראל.
Good week, my citizens in
הבוקר
Israel.
יצאנו, ישראל וארצות הברית, למבצע משולב להסרת האיום הקיומי על ישראל מצד משטר האייתולות.
Israel and America went on a joint operation to remove the threat over Israel.
המבצע הגורלי הזה
This
יימשך ככל הדרוש.
crucial operation will last as long as it needs to be.
אני מודה לידידי הנשיא דונלד טראמפ
I thank my friend
על
Donald Trump
מנהיגותו ההיסטורית.
for his
הוא מנהיג
historic
שעומד במילתו.
friendship.
שוחחתי איתו
He's
שוב
a leader
הבוקר.
that this would have not happened
ואני
without him. I
מברך
spoke
על
with him
שיתוף
hours.
הפעולה ההדוק בינינו. שיתוף פעולה שהביא את הברית בין ישראל לארצות הברית לשיא של כל הזמנים.
There is a record for the cooperation between Israel and America.
והמלחמה הזאת תוביל לשלום. שלום
This war
אמיתי.
would lead to peace,
במשך 47
regional
שנים
peace.
קורא משטר האייתולות מוות לישראל, מוות
For
לאמריקה.
47 years, this Ayatollah
הוא
regime has
הקיז
been
את
calling
דמנו,
death to Israel,
הוא
death to
רצח
America,
אמריקנים רבים, והוא טבח בעמו שלו.
and he would kill many
היום כבר
Americans
כולם
and
מבינים.
many Israelis, well, not from
אסור
Israel, but
שמשטר
many of
טרור
his own
רצחני זה
people. Actually, yeah,
יתחמש
quite a lot of
בנשק
Israel.
גרעני שיאפשר לו לאיים על קיומנו ויאפשר לו לאיים על שלום האנושות כולה.
We will not let him threaten our
אנחנו יצאנו
existence and
לקרב
the existence of
כדי
peace
לשנות
of the
מצב
entire
זה
humanity.
מן היסוד, לשים קץ לאיום.
We would put an end
ביום
to
השני של
this threat.
מלחמת התקומה, הבטחתי לכם, אנחנו נשנה את פני המזרח התיכון.
I promised you that we will
עשינו זאת
change the
בעם
face
תל
of the
אביב,
Middle East,
ואנחנו עושים זאת עכשיו ביתר שאת,
and we are doing it
במבצע
right now.
שאגת הארי. הבוקר
The
במתקפת
roar of
פתע
the lion.
עוצמתית, השמדנו בלב טהרן את
This
המתחם
morning,
של הרודן חמינאי.
we destroyed in the heart of
במשך
Iran the
3.5
compound of
עשורים.
Khomeini,
רודן אכזר זה שלח
brutal
טרור לרחבי
dictator.
העולם, אמלל את עמו, ושקד כל הזמן, בלי הרף, על התוכנית להשמדת
he
ישראל.
made his own people miserable, he was
התוכנית
butchering his own
הזאת
people, and he was
איננה.
thinking and working
ורבים
without
הסימנים
rest. How
שגם
can he
הרודן הזה
destroy
איננו.
Israel? How can he destroy America?
הבוקר סיכלנו בכירים במשטר האייתולות, מפקדים במשמרות
This
המהפכה,
morning we
בכירים
eliminated the
בתוכנית
leaders
הגרעין,
of that Ayatollah
ואנחנו
regime.
נמשיך. בימים הקרובים
In the next
נכה
days,
באלפי מטרות של משטר
we
הטרור.
will hit thousands
ניצור
of
את התנאים
targets
לעם
of
האיראני
the
האמיץ,
Ayatollah regime,
לשחרר את עצמו מכבלי הרודנות.
and we will help
ולכן אני
precious
שוב פונה
Iranian
אליכם,
people to
אזרחי
set
איראן.
themselves free from the chain
אל
of
תחמיצו את
dictatorship.
ההזדמנות. זו הזדמנות של פעם בדור,
This is an opportunity of
תשבו
once
בחיבוק
in a
ידיים.
generation.
כי בקרוב יגיע הרגע שלכם,
As soon
הרגע שבו
your
תידרשו
time will
לצאת
come,
לרחובות בהמוניכם,
that you, the
לצאת
Iranian people,
לרחובות
will
כדי
be able to
להשלים
walk
את
in the
המלאכה,
streets in number
להפיל את משטר הזוועות.
and to take
שממרר
down this
לכם את החיים.
regime and reclaim your
הסבל
country.
וההקרבה שלכם לא יהיו לשווא. העזרה
The
שהבטחתם
suffering
לה,
and the
העזרה
sacrifice
הזאת
that you
הגיעה.
made would not be in
Help has
vain.
arrived. ועכשיו הגיעה העת
And now is the time
שתתאחדו יחד למשימה היסטורית.
that you come together
אזרחי
for
איראן, הפרסים, הכורדים, האזרים,
a
האחווזים,
historical
והבלוצ'ים.
moment. The Persians, the Kurds,
זה
the
הזמן
Azeris,
שלכם
all these
לאחד
nations.
כוחות, להפיל את המשטר, להבטיח את עתידכם.
Take down this regime, secure your
אזרחי ישראל
future.
היקרים,
Citizens of Israel,
לאורך כל מלחמת התקומה,
throughout the
שאבתי
entire
כוח רב
war,
מהעמידה האיתנה שלכם. לא נפלתם למלכודות הדכדוך והייאוש.
you showed
להפך,
bravery, you did not fall into
זקפתם קומה.
depression and
נתתם גיבוי ללוחמינו
desperation.
הגיבורים.
You gave
נתתם
backup
גיבוי לממשלה,
to our soldiers,
ונתתם
brave
גיבוי
soldiers,
לי,
fighters to the
כדי
government.
להוביל את המאבק על קיומנו.
You allowed us to
כך
keep fighting
בדיוק
for
נוהג
existence.
עם חפץ חיים.
This is where you
עם
see a
של
nation
אריות.
that desires life.
גם בימים הקרובים נידרש יחד לאותה מידה איתנה.
In the
לאותה
next days, we're
משמעת
going to
ברזל
have the
בשמירה
same
על הוראות
resilience.
פיקוד העורף.
Listen to the
אזרחי
instructions
ישראל היקרים,
from the ministry of
יש
Israel
סמליות רבה בכך,
for your safety.
שהיום הוא י"א באדר.
Today is the
בתאריך
1st of
זה,
Adar, Yud
לפני
Aleph,
106
11th of
שנים,
Adar.
נפל גיבור האומה יוסף טרומפלדור בקרב תל חי.
In that date, the
מורשתו,
leader,
גבורתו,
nation hero Yosef
בפעם
Trumpeldor
מופבל.
fell down fighting for this nation.
באנדרטה לזכרו, בפסגת אצבע הגליל,
And there is
בה
a
נפל עם
monument
שבעת חבריו,
in the Galil for
הוקם
his memory,
פסל הארי השואג.
the
פעמים רבות
image
במהלך
of
חיי,
the roaring
ביקרתי שם.
lion.
כשהסתכלתי על הפסל,
When I used to look at the
כך
statue of the
תמיד
roaring
ראיתי
lion,
אתכם.
roaring lion,
כך תמיד ראיתי אותנו, את עם ישראל.
that's always how I saw
בעזרת
us,
השם,
the people of Israel, the
שאגת
nation of
הארי
Israel.
של חיילינו, של טייסינו, של אזרחינו, נשמעת עכשיו בעולם כולו.
The lion roar of our
והיום
soldiers,
יותר
our
מתמיד,
pilots, our
העולם
airplanes,
כולו יודע,
our military has been
עם
sound right now
ישראל חי.
through the entire world. Am Israel Chai, the nation of Israel live. What? Oh my God, I can't believe what? He just went William Wallace, guys. He just went William Wallace on us right now and gave us this speech. Israel have done it. I could have not been more proud of this country. We have got rid of one of the worst, most dangerous dictators on the face of this planet, and we are helping the most beautiful people of Persia to set themselves free from the claws of this Islamic regime. It is insane. Now, this is interesting stuff. How did Israel do it? What was the secret? How were they able to manage this kind of operation? And that is what they're saying. So apparently, to surprise the Iranians, what Israel decided to do, instead of attacking at night like they were expecting, Israel went and attacked in the morning. And they were sending false signals through the Iranian channels to the Chinese to make them all believe that the attack is going to happen at night, or something in the middle of the night like last time. But then it came in the morning. But also what they did is they closed the people in the Knesset and they did not allow them to order takeaway or food, because we all know the pizza bar in the Pentagon, where all the countries in the world basically usually know when America is about to do a big operation, because all the Pentagon people start ordering a lot of pizzas. So I think also they might have learned from that, to have their own internal kitchens and to tell the people not to order too much. But you need to also make it a balance. So what Israel did is they kept things looking like as if they were normal, and they had an agreement with the US. They've been training about this for months. That's from the reports and what we're reading. Yes, it's been confirmed. ADHD Hobby Hooper. ADHD Hobby Hooper, marhaba, baruch haba, welcome. Khamenei is no more. Mr. Brownie is browning his pants right now in hell with a bunch of demon head goated, demon 72 version, demon goated heads, whatever. That's what he's doing right now there. Hallelujah. What a crazy day. So here's what I was saying. Israel came, trained with America, and that was the agreement. America said Israel will open the opening strike. Israel will be in charge of taking the leadership, taking Khamenei, and taking these key important targets. America will be in charge of more surrounding the area and taking bigger targets maybe in the area, including some of the launchers and some of the air defense that they had. And Israel will focus on the elimination of these leadership and the targets. And I think that makes sense, because Israel knows much better than the Americans what is happening in Iran. They've been investing so long into that Remind you, Israel is the IDF, Israel Defense Force, the Mossad. They're all focused on the enemies of Israel. The whole idea is to defend Israel, and they're very, very good at that. They're not so focused on what's happening in Congo and Venezuela in that aspect, or on Epstein Island. That's not really their thing. They're more focused on threats that are coming to destroy the state of Israel. So they launched this operation at 8 o'clock in the morning, caught them by surprise, and managed to come and take down their leadership. And wow, I'm just wondering how everything is going to fall down right now that Khomeini is down. And a lot of his leadership, by the way, a lot of his leadership is down as well. Chinese were fooled, Russians were fooled, Iranians were fooled. The Mossad have played it again and showed the world that they are 10 steps ahead than everyone else. And as you can see here in the map, I'm pretty sure America will come and start taking it. Never mind. Let's not open that up. But I'm just so happy that both joined forces here and went and did what they did. What a day, guys. This is crazy. This guy is no longer. To give you a little bit of a kind of heads up about what does that mean. That means that there's a possibility here that Iran will be freed. Oh, watch this, watch this, watch this. This is crazy. This is crazy. That is one of their drones hitting, I think, in Dubai. 9/11 style. Just going into a civilian building. They don't mind, Muslims don't mind killing other Muslims. They're doing this all the time. It's so sad. This is, by the way, in Syria, in Sweden, in the Druze Mountain, one of the ballistic missiles. A lot of their missiles landed all around Israel. See, the Druze have their own army now, which is a great big thing. I mean, still the salary there is like maybe less than $10 a month. This is the U.S. military base in Bahrain that was blown up. I think this was filmed by American soldiers because you hear them kind of completely shocked and shouting. And for those of you who don't know, that's kind of the area where it happened. That's one of the hotels in Dubai that was hurt, or Abu Dhabi. Maybe I'm getting this wrong. But bottom line, guys, back to our story. What that means is that the Ayatollah regime is down. Collapsed completely. Hezbollah right now is finding himself swimming in the water by himself, no father, no mother, an orphan, crippled orphan, and about to drown, because the Christians in Lebanon are starting to rise, and I really hope they rise to take back Lebanon and bring it back to be a Christian nation. Because let's face it, Christians don't do suicide bombings. Christians don't go and kidnap little girls and make them sex slaves. And Christians in general, actually, Christians nowadays are not trying to ethnically cleanse anyone. Muslims are. So I really hope that Lebanon will become Christian. Same thing with Syria right now. Syria is finding itself in a different situation where Turkey and Saudi Arabia and Qatar are realizing that Iran is gone, and it's just confusing everyone there. What is happening? What's going to be next? If that happened to Iran, can that happen to them if they continue in the path of anti-Semitism? Anti-Semitism is a brain disease that is literally destroying everyone that is touching it. Now, on top of that, you have the Houthis and other terrorist organizations that are trying to see right now how are they going to rebrand themselves. Now, does that mean that we completely got rid of all terrorism in the Middle East and kumbaya and walk into the sunset eating baklawa and knafu with every Arab that we see in the desert? Absolutely not. There's still a lot of many, many bad players out there. But we just eliminated the head of the snake and his entire kind of leadership. And now Israel and America, just like Bibi said, this will take as long as needed, which means that probably Bibi and Trump sat down and talked and said, we're not going to do halfway. We're not going to do like they did in Iraq and other places, Afghanistan. We're going to go until the end. Remind you, the way that they defeated Nazi Germany and ensured that there's no more Nazis in Germany, I'm talking right now in large numbers, was when generals and leaders came and said, it's not over until it's over. We will not stop until we turn every stone in that country to make sure there's no Nazi hiding under it. We're going to crush that ideology. We're going to humiliate it to the ground. And that's the only way to defeat an evil ideology. And what happened, Germany is one of the greatest countries in the world. I lived there. Same with Japan and other countries. When the Allied forces chose not to back down and not to do half a job because some woke and some weirdos convinced them that let's have mercy on the bad guys. Then you end up finishing the job. But if you don't finish the job, you're going to keep dealing with it in futures and days to come. So how are they going to finish the job? How are they going to completely collapse and destroy this regime? And what is it going to mean? And I think the $1 million question that I'm asking myself, and many are asking, and when I talk to Tusi and other friends of mine, I keep asking that question is, all right, Israel saved you guys, but Israel saved Syria as well. And look what happened in Syria. They said thank you. They raised a few Israeli flags, but now they're all singing the Ruh b'dam, Naftiki Palestine, and we want to bathe in the blood of the Jews all the way into Jerusalem. Like literally they're saying they want to go and kill the Jews and destroy Israel. What will the Iranian people say a month from today, a year from today, 10 years from today? I do tend to really wish, believe that they will always remember who helped save them, and that they will take our hand in peace and do a real everlasting existing peace with Israel, with the Jews, and abandon everything that had to do with anti-Semitism and that poison, the need to destroy the West. I really hope, and I know I have great Iranian friends like Ra and others, which I believe them, but I don't know what's happening in Iran physically there on the ground. So how will that look like a year from now, 2 years from now? Are they going to go back again to the same anti-Semitism, the same, hating and blaming the Jews for everything? Or are they going to wake up and smell the hummus and start building a better future for themselves? I really hope option B. And with all due respect to all the answers that I've had so far, none of them convinced me in 100% certainty that this is what's going to happen. Because let's be honest, as many as beautiful and brave Iranians are out there, there's still a lot of them that are not. Otherwise, how do you think this regime was able to control its people and kill so many? Because there's a lot of people there that are part of that evil regime. There's a lot of Nazis in Iran. Let's just call it for what it is. And in Nazi Germany, they were humiliated to the point that the ones who were not killed were so embarrassed and ashamed from what they did internally. The Germans are so good on holding themselves accountable, then externally even, that they ensured it's not going to happen again. So how will they humiliate and destroy that ideology? Well, Bibi and Trump said they're going to keep doing it and whatever it's needed to be done. So I really hope they will have the guts to go with it, because sometimes there's no easy answers. That's when it comes about that. Another place that this might be hitting us in the Middle East is now, if Iran managed to get itself free from being Muslim and start building a beautiful country, it will give hope for other minorities in the Middle East. So if they did it, we can do it as well. Why do we have to live under Islamic oppression? And I think that is one of the main things that is scaring a lot of the Muslim countries, because let's be honest, these countries are not upholding their laws and rules and ideology by honest, real freedom and democracy, but it's a totalitarian regimes, and they're taking that government by force, and they're keeping it by more force. So a lot of them are terrified right now. What will happen if the liberal, free people will want actually to start becoming like the West? That is one of the things that made Mossad Agent 001, Shalom, that made the Iranian people so brave to not succumb under the Islamic ideology and kept fighting until today. So for those of you who joined the show right now, guys, great news, and I'm so proud of our country, Israel. Khamenei, the Ayatollah, is dead. Israel have eliminated him. My God. Honestly, Israel have eliminated more terrorists. I'm talking like arch terrorists that are wanted by the entire West. Israel have eliminated more arch terrorists wanted by the entire West in 2 years than all of the country in the world combined in the last 20 years. Isn't that crazy? And we get hated for that by the good guys, by the ones we're protecting. Someone is telling me that the answer is in the book of Revelation. Yeah, well, in the book of Revelation, there's also a lot of a lot of answers that are very, very hard to understand if we are in this right now, or is it going to happen 100 years from now or 1,000 years from now. I know every generation thinks that they are the generation where this is going to happen, but so far it's been proven wrong. So we don't know if it's going to happen now or not, these prophecies. So I think it makes it a little bit harder to kind of pin it down. But let's see. The most dangerous leader in the world is gone. Mossad. Thank you, Mossad, Bibi, and the IDF. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Woo! What are you guys going to do for Purim? This is going to be one heck of a Purim celebration in Israel and hopefully in Iran as well. What are you going to do for Purim? What costume are you going to wear? And it's just Purim gets a whole different meaning right now. Well, anyway, guys, just wanted to give you the great news that we got rid of one of the most wicked, religious, fanatic leaders on planet Earth, and many of his leaders around him. And now Israel, the Mossad, the US, CIA, and everything in the joint operation, the Air Force from both countries keep pummeling the Iranian regime until that regime is destroyed. It's not yet over. They're still trying to kill as many people and innocent civilians as they can with them, just shooting blindly. But we can see that their capabilities were drastically crippled again. They're not able to deliver as they promised. They were promising they're going to sink all these aircraft carriers, and we're sending these theatrical, comical kind of style of videos. But what's happening? Is Turkey next? Lol. Well, I think it's really up to Turkey. Turkey seems to be leading itself through the path of extreme Muslim Brotherhood. Turkey is full-on Muslim Brotherhood, for those who don't know. And it's a big shame, because there's a lot of good people in Turkey that I'm sure are not happy with that. But there's also a lot not so nice people there that are pushing for that. And Turkey is working right now to become the next Iran. Syria is working to become the next Hezbollah as a proxy of Turkey. And Qatar is basically shifting right now and sponsoring the operation of Turkey and the Al-Jawlani, Al-Qaeda, ISIS kind of government in Syria. So that's about Turkey. We should definitely be very concerned and worried about Turkey. They are a very rising, concerning power that will, like any other Muslim dictatorship, in the end will end up punching above their weight class and bringing a lot of destructions on themselves first, but also on everyone around. So yeah, people from Syria here are agreeing with me. It is exactly that, guys. It's exactly that. There was a big push by Turkey and a lot of influence on America to keep Israel outside of Syria, and to allow Turkey to basically groom Syria to become the Al-Qaeda land that it is today, to get rid of all the moderate Muslims there, like the Kurds, and to ethnically cleanse all the non-Muslims there that are not succumbing to Sharia law, like the Christians, like the Druze, like the Alawites, like the Yazidis and others. Thank God for Israel. He saved the Druze. I wish it was able to save more of the Kurds, but there was a lot of pressure there from the West to not intervene, because they were fooled by money and by empty promises from the Arab world, which is, surprise, surprise, not the first time that they lied to you. And then what happened is Syria have officially became Al-Qaeda land. Officially. I know Americans are not hearing this because they're telling you other stories, but on the ground, Syria have officially became ISIS Al-Qaeda land. They literally went and freed all the prisoners from ISIS with the blessing of Tom Barak, telling the Americans, yes, everything is fine here. We're doing great. And now they're becoming the next Hezbollah and Hamas at the borders with Israel. So they're water, by the way. Cheers. L'chaim. L'chaim to all of us. My goodness. What a great news. What a great news. Really hope the Iranian people will get to be free. I have so many dear Iranian friends that I told them I want to go and just spend time with them in Iran and get to know that country. I love cross-country walking. I think I'm the first Israeli since Abraham that actually walked all of Jordan. I got kidnapped while I did that, but I walked all of Jordan. I walked all of Israel by foot, and I would love to walk Iran. Imagine what a nice hike would that be. Wow, to go and hike Iran one day. Hopefully not in 20 years from now. I need to be in shape for that. or maybe I need to start working out now. But either way, guys. By the way, thank you so much for all of you that reminded me to actually wake up Tusi for the last show. It was early in the UK. I think he's in the UK or in the US. And he also works really late until the nights. And he was not awake when the attack started. So people following in the video here told me, I didn't hear from Tusi. What's happening? I'm worried. So I literally sent him a voice message, and he woke up and said, oh my God, I didn't know about this. And he went and jumped in. So thank you so much for the followers here, for being with us. Yes, someone is asking if there was a Nefilah in Sweden. There was a rocket that fell in Sweden. Here, I'll show you. See here. This is a rocket that fell in Sweden, and apparently 5 to 6 people were killed. Unfortunately, that is part of the Druze army that there is there. So, yeah, we need to keep praying, guys, for the Middle East. It is far, far from over. There's still a lot of work to be done. It's just the beginning, but just like in the last war, they started with a bang, with a boom, and hopefully they'll continue and completely eliminate that. We're talking a historical moment. There is literally a chance for transformation of the entire Middle East. Iran was leading the main force of anti-West, anti-Israel, anti-Semitism, and sponsoring terror in the Middle East. I know Qatar, some might say that Qatar is actually more than Iran leading the anti-West agenda while paying a lot of money to the West so they can think that they're friends, but they're bribing your universities and making your people very dumb in the US. On the right and on the left, no joke, there is woke right. Candace Owens have proven to us, and what's his name, Nick Fontrizi, have proven to us that there is woke right as well. It's not only woke left, it is real. So America is definitely in trouble because Qatar is still working on them, and China, etc. But Iran is out of the way. That is a big, big player in the Middle East that will... Wow. There is an official warning by the American embassy to all Americans around the world to be very, very careful. There's a lot of Muslims mostly that, well, they're only Muslims basically, that are living in Europe that are big, big supporters or sleeping cells of the Iranian regime. And now that their Ayatollah, their God basically is gone, they might retaliate and they might start taking actions to their hands. And thank you so much, Viking. Thank you so much, Viking. Viking Adventure A to Z. Appreciate that very much. Leon says, one, I already explained about Turkey. If you don't mind, just jump like 10, 15 minutes back and you'll be able to catch about it and see. Nick Fontrizi. Yeah. I was just invited to a Christian conference in the US and I explained about him and I said Nick Fontrizi, and a second later it's like, maybe it's not good that I said the word Trizi next to them, but I don't think any of them understand. Trizi is like a not so nice word for tusik, for tuches, for the behind in Arabic. Trizi. Nick Fontes, Nick Fontrizi. So here you go. By the way, speaking of the generation of Nick Fontrizi, we're going to finish with that. When I was in the army, I was part of a hostage rescue unit, and also later on, I was part of a negotiation unit. So I studied psychology, basically to understand how humans behave. So it's easier to negotiate when you understand how humans behave, and also study the history of religion, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, and others. Kind of made a degree in how many psychos live in the Middle East. And I still have a lot of fascination about psychology, and I like to read articles and just listen to some podcasts about it and interesting people. And one of the most interesting findings that they're finding lately, and I've seen it already in a few places, that this young generation in the West, particularly in America, but also a little bit in some places in Europe, is the first time that the next generation is actually dumber than the one before. First time in history. You see, all the way until now, our wisdom was always built on the shoulders of our parents. They have broke the ground. They have found new things, discoveries, understandings, wisdom, and we were on their shoulders, took it for granted, and found new things. This is the first generation that actually, the generation walking the earth right now, is literally dumber than the one before. And it's just getting worse and worse. And you can see it also. I'm talking like, academically they're proving it. And then you go in the street and you see suddenly, you see a lot of weirdos. talking a lot of nonsense on the right and on the left, and it's very, very concerning. And I feel like this is probably the most important front that we need to face right now. We call it the eighth front, which is the front for the soul of our Western civilization and the next voters that will shape the earth. Meanwhile, until we get to the catastrophe of having these people vote the next president, at least for now, go watch the movie Idiocracy. Go watch the film Idiocracy. If you haven't watched it now, go find the film Idiocracy. If anyone haven't watched it, it is a crime. Anyone in the crowd here haven't watched Idiocracy, or anyone did, please read in the comment. Go watch that film, and it will give you a very interesting insight about what is probably happening or going to be happening in the next 5 to 10 years when it comes to the next generation that would lead this planet. It's going to be catastrophic. Either way, guys, Iran is down. The Islamic Republic regime of Iran is towards the end of its days. Its leadership is collapsed, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a domino effect right now. So keep your prayers for the Iranian people. It is far from over yet. Keep your prayers for the soldiers, the American soldiers, the Israeli soldiers, that they will keep fighting. Our pilots, our special forces, our secret intelligence going around, our agents on the ground, and the Iranian brave men and women who many of them sacrificed the best years of their life. I've heard a woman in Iran, a mother, come and says that this is the first time that she laughed and rejoiced since that regime have murdered her only son. So just understand what is happening in that heart of so many of these people that have been oppressed for so long. Why do I think this is a good one, guys? We're gonna answer this one. Why do I think that Trump is covering up ISIS, Al Qaeda take over Syria? That's a very good question, guys, and I think that is one of the biggest questions that need to be answered. My conspiracy theories is telling me that because Tom Barak, he seems to be quite involved in the Epstein list as well, and he have a lot of garbage and a lot of leaders, and he is also very, very good friend of very rich Arabic elites in the Middle East. I'm talking the elite of the elite. He's the Epstein of the Arab world, but Tom Barak. People are not hearing about him. In general, when someone is so shady and you don't hear about him, that's exactly where you need to look. He was already arrested by the Department of Justice because they said he's basically working as a spy for Saudi Arabia and was pushing Muslim agenda into the mouth of Donald Trump and other leaders in the United States, and very, very heavily compromised, and we don't know where he's getting his money. He was arrested, and then he was released for about $219 million, and then he went bail, and the criminal charges fell from him, and then he went and he raised the biggest inauguration fundraising ever in the history of the United States. Where that money came from? I'm guessing from a lot of the Arab countries, and all of a sudden, you know, he became a very, very good friend. Well, he was already a good friend of the Trump's family and before, and maybe some of his corruption ties to them, and that will put them in a very bad light. Maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know, but I have a gut feeling that there is something there. And what happened is, what did they do to reward him? Instead of keeping him away from the Middle East, because he's proven to have dirty hand with dirty money, they sent him to be the ambassador to Turkey to lead the whole peace talks about Syria and now also about Iraq. I won't be surprised if they will also start doing it about Iran. And I'm telling you guys, if he will get a hand on Iran, then things will become really, really bad. It's a mud that will come back and bite the Americans, and I really pray that Donald Trump and the leadership in America will realize that they're very compromised with this guy and they need to stay away from him. So what happened is, he pushed for the release of ISIS and Al Qaeda, for Turkey ideology, for Turkish strategy, and Saudi strategy, and Qatari strategies for Syria. Meanwhile, painting to the Americans that everything's in control. But what they did is they betrayed the people who were fighting ISIS on their behalf, the Kurds, and sided with ISIS to betray their allies. Unheard of. That kind of betrayal in broad daylight by the Americans to their allies is something that I've never heard. Someone can try to explain to me better, but you know what, guys? Tough luck. Sometimes the truth hurts. And if we don't know how to face the truth, we're never going to be able to fix it. And that is what happened. The Syrian regime have ISIS patches all over. They went and they freed ISIS soldiers in the tens of thousands. And they went and they killed the one who were fighting ISIS, and the Christians and the Jews and the minorities. Meanwhile, And all of this under the blessing of America for some reason. And meanwhile, America, yeah, I know, man. I've become. He's excited. Someone joined the show right now. Aywa alik. Aywa alik. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's dead. We've been talking about it for an hour now, for 39 minutes. He's dead, Habibi. He's dead. Very dead. Khomeini, Mr. Brown Pants, is very brown right now. Smudged brown on the ground. He is dead. A lot of his leaders dead. Great day. Great day. So, yeah, that was to summarize Syria. I think that is definitely something. That is the only thing, one of the main thing with the American government right now that I just can't really fully understand. Why are they doing that? Why are they siding with Al-Qaeda and ISIS all of a sudden? It just doesn't make sense, and it's obviously not going to be in America's interest. So I'll leave it with that. Regardless, I do think this administration have done a much, much, much better job than administration before. It's like heaven and earth. You can't even explain it. Administration before, just to let you understand, Biden, Obama, Kamala, and all these guys, they were the one who actually unfroze money and gave it back to the Iranians, which they used to try to build a nuke to nuke America, and used to build power to actually butcher and kill their own people. They killed in 4 days more humans than the entire war in Gaza, the government killing its own people. So you have one side that was actually helping. That is what's so crazy, and Americans are understanding that. A lot of time, often their governments, if it's on the left or on the right, for some bizarre reason, finding themselves helping really, really bad people outside America, but they're just not aware of it. And it was mostly on the left, done under, I would believe, useful idiotness and also pure narcissism and also Marxist, communist ideology. But on the right, that's where it becomes really fishy, and only in Syria. That's the main place that you should look at. Regardless, guys, whoo! Repeatedly unfroze, exactly. Watching from our bunker. Oh, wow. By the way, a lot of people in Israel are on the bunkers. If you remember Andy and Batya, last time with the Bunkers Diary. So Batya is still in Israel, running down to the bunkers, making friends with a lot of people. Andy is actually stuck somewhere else, and he's really, really frustrated because he's trying to go back to his wife because they want to enjoy jumping into the bunkers. My mom, I was with her on the phone this morning when the attack, or one of the attacks happened. Me and Rafi were talking to her, Slim, my brothers, and other of our, the children of the Ashka tribe. And all of a sudden the alarm came, and everybody was like, okay, run to the miklatim. My mom left. I was very proud of her. It's like, wow, good. My mom is, following the instructions. Later on, I found that my mom went to my sister and started making pancake in the kitchen with my nieces. And I asked her, why are you not in a bunker? And she said that she trusts in the IDF, she trusts in God, and she is not afraid of Iran. And we have great Air Force and Iron Dome. But it's just crazy how in Israel, people sometimes are just not so afraid like you would think would be here. Look. So see, that's my mom during the Iranian attack. So all of you haters out there who think, oh, Israel is terrified, Iran is crushing us, guys, come on. It's like a professional MMA heavyweight fighter fighting against a drunken teenager in the street. Like, there's no competition here. The only thing that was holding Israel from doing what they did was the West. And finally, Israel went unleashed, and the Iranian regime is collapsing. My God, I am so proud of Israel. Yeah. Israel just went and did the impossible. Praise God. Israel took the nuclear plan of Saddam Hussein. Israel destroyed and Hezbollah. Israel collapsed the wicked regime of Assad, Bashar al-Assad. Honestly, guys, is Israel the only one working here? Is Israel the only one actually working? Is there anyone else that is working? I know sometimes America wake up and send the B-2 bomber, and now, thank God, they send like the whole army to help us. But other than Israel and America, is there anyone else that is actually working to defeat the bad guys and to make the world safer? Haven't you seen in the last several years how the world has become from nice and friendly to very, very not nice and unfriendly? Like, Europe was the prime example of a beautiful place with no borders. Everything was friendly. It's not friendly anymore. I feel And I kid you not, I feel safer being in Israel under an attack from Iran than being in Europe. Because in Europe, there's so many radical Muslims in the street that I really need to think. Like today, I went to a restaurant and I had German friends telling me, hey, do you mind removing the pins? You know, that pin with Israel, the Druze, and the Iranians that might get you like unnecessary attention. So you see like what's happening in Europe. They're like literally afraid that that pin is going to be shown and people will see like, oh my God, he's pro-Iran, the Persians. He's pro the Druze, or like, so I'm literally safer in Israel under war than in Europe. So what have happened to Europe? And why is Israel the only one that is going and just slapping the cow poop tusik out of all these bad players? הרב הבטיח שבארץ ישראל הכי בטוח. I don't know which Rabbi is that, but yeah, man, no, I'm so proud of my country and I'm so happy for the Iranian people. And I just hope, yeah, not just Europe. Yeah, it's getting worse everywhere. And I just really hope that Argentina, we love Argentina, guys. We love Argentina. Don't cry for me, Argentina. All right. Sorry, guys, I got super excited. I got to go back here. I'm staying at my friend's place and they're having a lot of fun right now and I'm not with them. So I'm going to go back there and I'm going to try to come back and give you the best updates that I can. Stay safe. See you next time. Don't do anything stupid and keep praying. All eyes on Iran. All eyes on the free people of Iran. Let's give them all the support. I know many of us were giving before and it got a little bit winded up. Now is the time to wake up again and show them how much we love them and how much Khamenei is safe. I don't know, man. I really hope you're not an official because we just spoke for an hour about how he was dead. So unless you saw an AI video, you're welcome to come and enlighten us. And if he is, I'll jump back and make another video about it. So hopefully I won't need to do that. Stay safe, guys. See you next time. And don't do anything stupid.